Welcome to my dream desk setup. ...2024 was a life-changing year for me in more ways than one, which I'm going to get into later in the video. From my family life, my career, my jobs, and to be honest with you, I was nearly at the point where I was going to completely quit YouTube altogether. But I have to say, over the last month, I've been feeling like a completely different person, and I'm going to get into all the reasons why very soon. Let's get into the desk then. So this setup had to be multifunctional. It had to be a little bit of a space for me to record YouTube videos, as well as sitting here editing them, as well as doing all my admin work like booking flights for races and everything in between. There's a link in the description to any of these items that I show you in this build, so hopefully if you are looking to buy any of these, you can find them there. This room isn't the biggest room in the world, but I knew it was important that I got a really good desk. So firstly, I got a standing desk. I've wanted a standing desk for so long. I've seen a lot of them on the internet. If you're a fidgeter like me, I don't like being sat still in a chair all day, and I've always wanted to have one of these. The great thing with this FlexiSpot desk is it holds a huge amount of weight. You can have different programmable functions to set a standing height, a sitting height, and everything in between. It's also got a child lock, which will be handy for me in the new year. The thing I love the most about it though is the cable management trays at the back. But it's got two great systems. One is a magnetic tray that holds a lot of it in, and then the second part is at the back of the desk where you can route all the other cables through neatly and efficiently. I've used a lot of different cable management systems over the years, and this one is by far the best one I've used. It's neat and integrates nicely into the desk. So I have to say, overall, I'm happy with this desk. If you do want to stand on it and hang a picture, it is also very useful, as you can see here. I've always just had my monitor on the stand that it came with, but I've seen a lot of builds over the years where people have them on an arm, and I've always wanted to do that because it's handy. If the sunlight's shining on it, you can move it and also get it up and out of the way off the desk. This was the arm that came with the desk, which has been really easy to fit, and it holds my BenQ monitor. I'm no monitor expert, but that one does me just fine for all my video editing that I do on it. The next important thing for me is to record video content, and there's three main things that I need for that: a camera, my lighting, and my microphone. So conveniently, I timed this build around Christmas so I could ask for things for this desk too. And one of them was this small rig arm for my camera, so I can easily mount my camera, move it about, and leave it set up there, which is probably the most important thing for me, because setting things up and taking them down all the time takes a lot of my time up, so that makes that a lot easier. I then got this microphone arm. I bought the cheap Amazon one to begin with, but this one's slightly more expensive, but has a lot better cable management built into it. And then thirdly was the lighting. Now, there are hundreds of lights on the internet, and it honestly blew my mind trying to find the right one for me. I bought some cheap Amazon lights before, and they were so noisy that I couldn't really use them in video content, whereas these ones are really quiet. They don't make sound at all, and they're also highly adjustable, so you can adjust all the brightness and the white balance of them too. I then have my Apple MacBook Pro computer, which I absolutely love. I take it everywhere with me, from traveling to sitting at this desk. It serves me really well. Where I then needed to be a little bit more clever was being able to remove this laptop easily, take it with me, and then come back and plug it straight in and make this whole desktop unit work. And that's where I found this Anchor hub. It's really useful. I'm going to find a way of fixing it to the desk properly, and then I can plug all my SD cards straight into it, USB, and also the HDMI lead that I need to plug it into the back of this monitor. I watched so many desk setup videos in the process of making this one. I found this handy little charging hub. And if you're like me, you've got lots of gear that you need charging. This one is really useful. You can plug up to 6 USB devices into it all at once and charge everything. So if you've got a lot of camera stuff like me and you need to charge it all in one go, that's really useful too. I then just plugged in my speaker system, which I've had for a number of years. I just bought that off Amazon. It's not expensive, but it serves me really well, and I get good quality audio. Then to add to the aesthetics of this whole build, I added some Gobi LED lighting strips underneath, which you can change the colour of and also make them flash if you really wanted to make them flash. And then to add to the whole motorsport feel of this room, I added the Rossi portrait behind the desk, which we've had for a lot of years in our garages. And then a few items that mean quite a bit to me on the shelf behind. I won't go into too much detail, but probably the most interesting thing on that shelf is the Red Arrows planes at the top. One of my old sponsors is a guy called Peter Evans, who in the 60s was actually a Red Arrows pilot, one of the coolest guys I know, and he's got lots of incredible stories, as you can imagine. So that photo is actually of him flying in the 60s, which is really cool. I've then obviously got my Ruroc helmet on display, and I also have to thank Ruroc for sending me the wall mount, which I'm gonna eventually put a helmet on there. But it's honestly one of the coolest new things that Ruroc have come up with. It's actually meant for the garage, so you can hang your leathers on the bottom of it on the hook, and then also your helmet on the top. Earlier in the video I mentioned that I've got lots of exciting news for 2025 that I wanted to get into that sort of links into this build too, so I'll get into those things now. One of the biggest changes for me in 2024 was finding out that in 2025 I'm going to be a dad for the very first time. If 12 months ago you told me that I'd be sat here making a video about my first child, I would never have believed you, but it's been the most amazing experience and something that I'm very excited about. But if I'm honest, this desk and this whole YouTube setup nearly didn't happen at all. Now, over the last few years since I've stopped racing, my life changed by the week, if I'm honest, from trying different career paths, different jobs, and different hobbies and activities over those few years, trying to find my way in this world to figure out what I was going to do when I stopped racing. At the end of 2023, I quit my job as a team manager of a team, and that's when I said that YouTube was going to be my full-time career. And to be honest, at the end of 2023, YouTube was going okay. I'd done a couple of videos that had surpassed 300,000-400,000 views, and at that point I thought I'd got YouTube figured out. And it was at that moment I realised I was completely wrong. My next video completely flopped, and so did the one after that. I panicked at that point. Then as the year progressed, I was really busy. I was helping my brother with his racing, which was really good fun. I was really enjoying it. And I also launched the BMW Performance Academy in England, where I was instructing people on track and finding it really rewarding, teaching people how to learn how to ride motorbikes and get faster and safer on track. And it was at that point I started posting the odd video as and when I had time, which really weren't making me any money. It was just because I still enjoyed making video content and I wanted to put something out there. I also then started receiving negative comments on videos, which I'm really used to. It's been my whole life since I've been a child, to be honest. I've grown up with negativity on the internet. And that's completely fine when it's your job and you're being paid to do it, and that's just part and parcel of what comes with it. But what was happening to me was I spend a full week making a video, upload it, receive a load of negativity, and then get no views and think, why am I even doing this? But that's when everything changed completely, because I was at the NEC this year and I was ready to just jack YouTube in completely, because I just wanted to go back to making videos for myself and not have to worry about the pressures of having a channel and having content that performs. But that was the best thing ever that happened, because when I went to the NEC, I actually was met with quite a few people that enjoyed my channel. There was a couple of sponsors there that said they would continue, and then I thought, I've come this far with my channel, I'd be silly to give it up now. I've spent 4 or 5 years building this up, and for the sake of a few negative comments and some videos that I didn't enjoy making, that was a silly reason to stop doing it. So that was where I thought I'll need to make more video content at the same time as I'm having a child, which is probably the stupidest idea ever. So naturally, I needed to create a space where I could create content easily and quickly and get it online for you guys to enjoy at home. Stupidly, I decided to make the nursery my office. And after approximately 2 weeks of doing this, I've realised what a stupid idea that was in itself. And although I've just completed this dream desk setup, you will be seeing another video later on in the year where I make my dream garage conversion into a YouTube studio / desk / office. As I've realised there's barely enough space for me in this room, let alone add in all the other items I'm going to need for baby Mackenzie when he arrives. So I've created more work for myself, but I do need somewhere to work in the meantime until I convert the garage, but the weather's horrible at the moment and I want to wait until it's a bit warmer till we start doing that. So for now I can just enjoy this desk and use it until the baby arrives, and then as soon as he arrives I'll figure out a plan of how I'm going to be changing nappies and sorting my garage out at the same time. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.